Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking the latest Housewives and headlines, and I have seen some more of the Beverly Hills Netflix series. I'm still shocked at how much Kyle Richards is featured in this series. She's in every episode for sure. They're doing confessionals with Mauricio, and he's coming home from work and even talking about business and real estate and Rick Hilton and the whole gentleman's deal that Rick Hilton and Mauricio had. He talks about that. I'm going to get into that with you guys. And I think that I have kind of mixed feelings about Kyle's timeline, and I want to talk to you guys about it. I'm going to go over that. Sorry, I'm going to get my computer together. I don't have my camera on today, guys, because I'm cleaning. I've been cleaning all morning, trying to get my carpet cleaned. You guys know me. I love to clean my carpets. I have a problem. I just want to live life. But anyways, okay. I want you guys to think back, and if anyone remembers, from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion with Kyle Richards, when they were discussing the music video with Morgan Wade, do you guys remember? She said something about, I think somebody said, why do the video? Like Crystal said, why did you do the video with Morgan Wade? If there was so much speculation around you guys and you didn't, want to bring attention to it. I think that if anyone can remember when she said they filmed that music video, because I thought she said something along the lines like it was already filmed, as if, I think it might have been after the People magazine, maybe after all of the rumors. Comment if you remember specifically that statement being said. I'm pretty sure it was Crystal. They were sort of talking about Morgan and Kyle's relationship and the People article and everything that had been going on. Because we see Kyle Richards in Buying Beverly Hills talk to Mauricio about how she's going off to film the music video with Morgan Wade. And I thought, one, it's funny that they slipped that into the Buying Beverly Hills series because, Morgan Wade's getting a lot of attention. And Andy Cohen himself said during the Watch What Happens Live that, Kyle sort of made Morgan a household name. So those are some of the things we're going to touch base on today, guys. If there's anything specific you would like to chat about, put it in the comments, and we can definitely get to it. Make sure that you guys hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on. I'm also on TikTok and Instagram and all those different places, so you can definitely check out my accounts there. It's HW Historian with the number 2. Grabbing my computer now. Are you guys watching Buying Beverly Hills? Is anyone watching it? Are you watching clips online? Because I know there's a lot circulating. The account Bye Wig Hello Drama, they post a lot of clips on Twitter, like long clips of Buying Beverly Hills. If you're interested in just watching the highlights instead of watching the whole thing, there's definitely a lot of real estate and a lot of drama around the girls, which actually they are cute and funny. Like I mean they have good personalities, I think. But I'm just like not into real estate that much. I think the younger too, like Sophia and Alexia. Farrah is a little more like, I don't know, she's quiet, I think. All right. So, also Carlos King, did you guys listen to Carlos King's latest podcast? He did a podcast with Dr. Heavenly from Married to Medicine. I know some of you guys watch Married to Medicine. And they were discussing the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, specifically Juan Dixon, and the fact that he did not show up to the reunion. Did anyone hear that? He said that Juan Dixon's the most disrespectful husband out of all the franchises. I was like, dang, Carlos. He was not nice about it. He dropped the F-bomb. Even Heavenly was commenting. She's like, or she was actually in the video live, agreeing. And then they both are like, but we love Robin. We just hate Juan, pretty much. He's the most disrespectful husband in all the franchises. He even stated, like, Gordon showed up for Mia. And look at what she's put him through. He has this son, and they're fighting over, like, paternity rights and trying to figure out who's the father. And he still showed up to the reunion. I was like, that's actually a really good point. Heavenly said that Robin acts like she's not a dumb woman, but she acts dumb on the show, and Juan is telling her these crazy stories, and they both said that Robin, if you're listening right now, he doesn't love you, is what Carlos King said. I was like, dang, Carlos. I hope she's not listening to this first thing in the morning. If she was mad at Candace, she's surely going to be mad at you. She'll still probably go on this podcast, though, if she gets cut from Potomac. Just my opinion. All right. Also, I wanted to tell you another person that's featured in the Buying Beverly Hills series. Do you guys remember the very first couple of seasons of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? There was Dr. Paul, and he was a plastic surgeon, and he was married to Adrienne Maloof, and they lived across the street from Lisa Vanderpump. And she's the one that like washed the turkey, like literally washed it with like hand soap when she was cooking in the kitchen with Lisa Vanderpump. It was like some holiday. Hey, Lisa. Adrienne actually took the hand soap and started washing it. And Lisa was like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, this is like, I had family get food poisoning from, unclean meat or something. And Lisa's like, I don't think you're supposed to put soap on it, literally. Like, anyways, they went on to get divorced. He went on to, I think, get remarried and have more children. And he went on to do Botched. And he actually is selling one of his houses with Mauricio and Buying Beverly Hills, which prompts Mauricio to do a confessional. And he says that he actually was the one who suggested Paul and Adrienne for the show. And if you don't remember, they left the show abruptly because she had her children surrogate, and she didn't say that on the show. I think she actually told a different, that she did, have the children, etc. And Brandy Glanville came on and was threatening to out Adrienne and Paul, and they were very upset about it. They, I think, filed paperwork through an attorney against Bravo, and Bravo had to go through and cut everything that mentioned the surrogacy. And then Adrienne and Paul obviously quit The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And then they ended up talking about it and doing an interview or something. And Bravo was like especially mad because of the fact that they said they made them do so much work editing out anything about the surrogacy for that season, and then for them to like wait for the season to air and then come out and announce it anyways, made Bravo upset. But they still worked with Paul for many seasons later. Like I said, on the Botched. He has a mansion on the show that he's trying to get $18 million out of, and they end up doing some sort of a home auction. I didn't really get into the home auction. Also, I wanted to talk about Jax Taylor. I posted a TikTok video, and I'm trying to upload it to Instagram, but I've been having problems all morning uploading things. He was in his bar sometime this week, and on the big screen televisions, they were playing Vanderpump Rules. And he had a microphone, and he was sort of doing commentary to it. And he starts off by saying the Vanderpump Rules is so scripted, that this is all scripted. He said the first 6 seasons were organic, but he said once everyone got money, it was just scripted. And he's like, even if I were to go back to Vanderpump Rules today, it would still be scripted. And I just didn't know what that meant for the other franchises. I follow a couple of producers on TikTok, and one of them is he works with different like 3-letter networks. He worked on The Amazing Race, and he's sort of his like own, he picks which jobs he wants to do, right? And he said that because somebody had asked in a TikTok, are reality shows scripted? And he said they're not scripted. And the reason that that is because when all of the writers went on strike and nobody was working in Hollywood and everyone was depending on the reality shows and the reality stars, they were able to do that because they're not scripted shows. Heavily produced, very much, yes. Yes, I'm sure that they are. But necessarily scripted, not so much. And then what does it say for himself and the show The Valley? I'm getting into The Valley. I've been kind of talking to you guys about it. I like it. I didn't watch Vanderpump in the early years. I really like Brittany. I'm trying to figure out like how her and Jax got together and ended up this far, but, they're separated now, which kind of makes me feel bad for her, for their family. And now he has this bar, and, it just seems a little bit, I don't know. I don't really like it. But anyways, he was just basically outing Vanderpump Rules and saying that it's completely, completely scripted. And I was surprised to hear that. He's trying to produce the vow. Lisa, you are so right. He sets up this boys night out, and he's like, I don't know why Kristen always makes me invite her boyfriends, like I'm her brother or something. We're like, okay, Jax. He invites Kristen's new boyfriend, who is this man from Colorado. I think he owns like a bunch of property in Colorado, and they're trying to have a baby. And her ex-boyfriend, whom they have been like broken up a short time. Kristen's version is that she sold her house to live with him, and his version is I sold her house for free, and then she lived with me for 8 months for free. I'm not, I don't know. We obviously have to find the truth somewhere between the two of them, but regardless, Jax is absolutely trying to produce it. He invited both guys to hang out, and Kristen's new boyfriend was not happy, which again makes me feel like some people are saying that they have like a business arrangement with this whole situation and the baby in the show, and people were pointing out that maybe not, because he was really, really upset about Kristen's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, I'm sorry, coming to boys' night. One of those women is like Miss America. The blonde, she's really pretty. I think she was like Miss USA or Miss America. I really like her. I think they have twins or something, and she's pregnant again. And these people live in condos in LA, right? I always talk about Ashley Darby and her condo, and how I swear she had to threaten to divorce Michael to get him to buy her a house. Like, but when you live in like the most beautiful state and you have like beautiful weather, it's fine if you live in a condo, because you can go outside all the time. There's like nice parks and places like rollerblade, and you can go to the beach and you can do all this other stuff. So it's like not like you're in, when you're in DC and it's cold like half the year. That's a little bit, get a little stir crazy. I could get stir crazy for sure. I like Brittany, but what happened to her mouth? It's not the same. I know, Debbie. I'm seeing so many people bring up her confessional look, and they're saying that. And I think that it's probably just a combination of fillers, lip filler, Botox, something like that. I'm sure. Somebody commented, they made a really great comment. They're like, when you have somebody that's already naturally really pretty, which Brittany was naturally really pretty, and they start messing with their face with like any sort of fillers or Botox and such, if they overdo it, it's usually worse than better, because they already started out like naturally really pretty. Lisa said, I think Kristen and her boyfriend had been together for about a year. I think when they were filming, they were like newly together, because I think she broke up with Alex, and she said that she had a wedding shortly after that she like attended, and she was in it maybe, and he was like a groomsman, and that's how they ended up meeting. And he lived in Colorado, but he came there because they're going to try to have a baby, and obviously because they're filming. So Debbie's like, well, it's overdone. I know. I feel bad because she's young to like, and you know what else I think it could be is that if she has too much filler, do you guys remember some of the ladies on Orange County had too much filler at one point, until Dr. Jen Armstrong came on and did the Lord's work and took some of the women and was like, no, honey, we need to get rid of some of this filler in your face. Gina's friend, I cannot think of her name right now. Her face looked so much better. Hold on one second. I cannot remember her name. Her husband's the attorney. Emily. Emily would lose weight, but her face never changed. Like, some people maybe look, when they gain a little bit of weight, like their face is bigger, it's just more fuller. Or if you have someone that drinks a lot, sometimes their face can be, puffy. but just look big almost. And Emily is one of those people because even when she would lose weight, her face would never change. And I couldn't understand it until Dr. Jen Armstrong came on and explained like the filler, and these girls were getting a lot of filler. Another person who got their filler dissolved was Lisa Hochstein because she had a lot of filler, obviously living in Miami and having her husband be a plastic surgeon, so it was more accessible. And if you overdo it with that, your face just ends up looking, it doesn't lay right. It doesn't look good. And maybe she should get some of it dissolved and see what happens. So, I don't know how expensive that is though, because her and Jax talk about that their friends are plastic surgeons, and I don't know if they just get the work done for free. Like he's had 4 nose jobs allegedly because every time he has one, he like does something he shouldn't do, like go swimming or he broke it. I don't know. Regardless, I'm like, do they do it completely free for them for advertisement? I don't know. I mean, she had her like tatas done. She was on Watch What Happens Live last night too. Yeah, I just think that she's like gained a little bit of weight since she had her baby. She looks amazing, but I just think that people saw her when she was very, very young, and now it fast forward a decade, and on top of that, the fillers and such. And I just think I'm looking at her right now, staring at it like, what is it? I think that's what it is. It's like her eyes are gone. Her cheeks are like when she smiles and stuff. And she's also has that eyebrow thing going that Lala has. I'm sorry. I think Lala Kent's very pretty, but I don't know. I'm like, is it just me? Like, I'll like rub my eyes and like open them again. Like, is it just me or just what is off with the eyebrow? Is that what's off? Like, what is making catching my eye that like doesn't look right when I look at her? Because Lala has that kind of has those same eyebrows as Brittany. Like maybe they're using the same doctors. I also think sometimes when you get liposuction, sometimes if you only get it in certain areas or don't get as much as you should or get more in one place and less in another, it can like catch the eye in a weird way because it doesn't look like symmetric and even. Um, Back to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I want to talk about again, if anyone remembers at the reunion, Kyle Richards was discussing Morgan Wade's video at the reunion. Beverly Hills. And I think it was Crystal that asked her and said, well, why did you do the music video? And she said that the music video had already been recorded. And so when we're watching Buying Beverly Hills, in the 3rd episode, she says that she is going off to Nashville because her and Mauricio are in the kitchen, and Mauricio is actually opening up and talking about how him and Rick Hilton had this gentleman's deal that they would not try to take each other's like brokers and employees. And Mauricio is upset because one of his agents says that Rick Hilton allegedly invited him to his house or something along those lines and was basically trying to recruit him. And Mauricio was all feeling some type of way because he claims that he doesn't do that to Rick's agents. And Kyle's uncomfortable, sort of. And she says, well, I don't know anything about it. I don't have the inside information anymore. And he's like, well, we've missed you. You've been gone. I don't even know where you're at because you're like traveling so much. And she's like, we were in Spain. I was like, mental note, they were filming and they were in Spain. And when she came home from Spain, she filmed for Buying Beverly Hills. And then she took off to Nashville to be with Morgan Wade to do the music video. This would have been after the People article came out. And I was surprised that she mentioned Morgan Wade and Buying Beverly Hills. Like, is Kyle really doing this right now? Like, that would literally be like Real Housewives of Potomac. Gordon has his own show, right? And Mia is on there, married but separated and promoting Ink. That's the same exact situation. Like, that's crazy. So crazy. Anyways, Mauricio goes into a confessional where he says that he's like starting to realize that Kyle doesn't love him anymore, or at least she doesn't love him the way that she used to love him. And, he's just starting to realize this, he says, and it's like hurting him. He said they had been to 3 like therapist sessions for their marriage. They're sleeping in the same bed on buying Beverly Hills, but like they're shooting these scenes in the bedroom, but like, which I think is, I don't know. I don't know. It just seems a little weird to me. Like, cause they're like in bed, like she's in her pajamas, getting all of her lotion on. She's climbing into bed and he's in bed and the cameras are there. And I don't know. That seems a little crazy. But anyways, I'm going to go back and look at the reunion because I want to see what she said about the music video because I'm just so curious about it. Because I think that she allegedly, she started that production company and I think they were responsible for the video. So it was a little confusing when she said that she found out she had to kiss Morgan. She was uncomfortable because she had never kissed anyone on screen before. And I also found it interesting that she didn't feel like she needed to run it past her significant other. Like, hey, I'm going to be making a music video and there's going to be a scene where I'm kissing a female. Don't you? I mean, we see women do that all the time on the show. Like if they have a scene or something, they like to let the men know. I think like Candy Burroughs had to go through that once. She was like part of a show and they had to do like this sex scene and she had to tell Todd and yada yada yada. But if it was like such a big deal that Kyle was like, I've never done this before, and she was like slightly, obviously, I don't know. I just thought it was a little crazy. Debbie said she didn't look uncomfortable. No, girl, she did not look uncomfortable. That is so funny. She did not look uncomfortable. But I'm just like, was the production company that Kyle started? I like heard rumors that was who produced the music video. That they were producing a documentary on Morgan as well. I don't know. That was just the rumors, the word on the curb. But Mauricio didn't seem very happy that she was like, I mean, he wasn't like giving her a hard time. He like seemed sad about it. But at the same time, she had just come from working out. And when he asked her about her workout, she was very talkative. Oh, I've had better ones, yada, yada, yada. But on other things, like, I wish you were home more, you're headed off to Nashville and you just got home from Spain. She literally said, oh, whatever. Turned around and like, no big deal. And so I definitely think that we're seeing the animosity. We saw a tiny, tiny bit of it in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, at Portia's birthday party with the grandma and the tattoo and that whole thing. But I think that's truly been, I don't know, we're seeing the real dynamic in like brief moments. The veil is lifted, and she's come from working out. She's not drinking anymore. And there he stands with a bottle of wine, the cork and the wine glass. And he's probably rolled himself something to go smoke on. And that's fine. There's like nothing wrong with that. But if you're around someone that's like, maybe they have to not drink, but they're still tempted, like it would be difficult to have a partner that does something that you really enjoy and you're trying not to do. Because it is going to be, you're not going to want to hang out with them after they've had a couple of drinks, because if you're sober, who wants to be around someone that's like tipsy, especially if you're trying not to drink? You're not going to want to do that. You're not going to want to go like and kiss and taste alcohol on their breath. She's not going to want to do that. She's not going to want to be, cleaning wine glasses and spilt wine and stuff, like, the smell of alcohol for people. So I don't know. I think in that moment for me, I was like, oh, they really are in different places. And Mauricio even said that he's basically enjoying his, being the big man on campus. They say all men at some point want to, be the big man on campus, or the guy that gets the prom queen, the quarterback that dates the prom queen. I got that from a therapist, so it's true. Okay. I've applied that in many times in my life, and I very much believe that. Like, so I think that this is his moment. He's been supporting Kyle. He's been behind the scenes getting little pieces of fame and crumbs here and there. And, oh, he's the most amazing house husband in all the franchises. What? Like, he was in a book for buying SEX off Hollywood Boulevard. It doesn't even matter who he bought it from. Isn't it enough that he rolled up and bought it in the first place? Jeez. He does like a TikTok. Yes, thank you, Debbie. I always forget. And Morgan doesn't drink. She's like 3 years sober. So I don't know if she's like AA or just, California sober sometimes too. Like, that's the term that's used for people that are sober if they have like problems with substances or alcohol, but they still smoke lettuce or eat gummies, whatever, like the lettuce, however forms it is. It's called California sober. So if you ever hear that term, that's what that means. You're welcome. Anyways, Morgan is sober. I think she's been sober, like I said, like 3 years. And I think that probably, again, has filled voids that Mauricio probably didn't even know needed filled, right? Because if you are someone who, hypothetically, if she did have a drinking problem, even if it wasn't the solid last 20 years, maybe a couple of years here, and then she would pull back and then start slow again, it would pick back up a couple of years here and there, give and take over the last 20 years, and she completely stops drinking, she's going to have a lot of emotions and trauma and things that she hasn't dealt with. And I think that's precisely what we're getting from her when she says things happen and you're busy with the kids and you're breastfeeding, you're having the baby and doing this and da-da-da-da-da. And she's like, and you just don't even discuss it and you just move on because they are the type of the people that just aren't confrontational. And it wasn't confrontational also probably because Kyle was the wife and he was the man and he was the one out doing extracurricular activities. And so Kyle loving him, wanting to protect him for the sake of their children, all the many reasons, right? And so that, again, probably did not help. If she did have any issue with drinking, like that would, intensify. And now that she is not drinking, she's gonna have to deal with all those emotions that she didn't deal with or that she buried or things like that when she gets sober. And so it sort of allows her to reconnect with herself, but also have a deeper understanding and have like more self accountability as well. And Mauricio is just like not there. And I also think you have a lot of deep conversations and therapy and things when you start unraveling the last 2 decades of your life and you realize, oh, this is why I felt resentful, and wow, that is a really messed up situation, and he was gaslighting me, and I just didn't realize because I was so overwhelmed with the kids and the show or whatever. And so now things have slowed down for her. She has 3 daughters that are like successful real estate. They're doing their own thing. They have their own show basically, right? Um, she has her own show that she's done for the last 12 years. And she just has one little one, that's 15 or 16 that she's got to finish and get out of the house. And I think that it's slowed down significant enough for her to realize that, she maybe just overlooked it for the time being because of situations and circumstances, and maybe she felt like she had to. I've always thought that Morgan was Kyle's sponsor, not her lover. I've also very much considered that as well, Lisa. I really have considered that. If not, it at least probably started out as like a sort of AA mentor and some sort of step work, because in AA, to work the 12 steps of the program, you can't work them by yourself. You have to work them with somebody else. So that's a possibility, because in any sort of like sobriety program, even if it's not AA, if it's like Celebrate Recovery or these other new, most of them have some sort of step work or, again, like self accountability. So I think that that's a good possibility, and maybe it just lingered from there, because again, that would ignite really powerful conversations if that was her sponsor, because you make amends in AA and you list the people that you've harmed and you share that with your sponsor, and you share a lot of intimate things that you wouldn't, that you're trusting somebody with. And I think that if Morgan had liked Kyle, she probably had an advantage, um, because she would have known the things, that Kyle had shared with her probably when if they were doing any, steps or AA type situations, and so that like called for like a deeper relationship because Morgan Wade's ex-girlfriend was on TikTok, and everyone forgets that she was on there crying and she was brokenhearted over Morgan. And she was going to go to Morgan's concert in LA, and she found out that Kyle Richards was there, and so she didn't go. And she got online and cried about that. And I don't know, she just didn't make it seem all like Morgan was great, but I don't know. Getting sober is good, but it sucks at the time. You start feeling things you don't want and then need to deal with. Exactly. And so if you're trying to relay that to your partner who you're looking for support from, and they're 2-3 glasses of wine in for the night, and we also know he likes to do other substances for that many a times. Did I tell you about the comment about the woman who said that she was worked PR like over a decade ago and in Beverly Hills, and that she was with Mauricio at a party, and that he ate oysters and washed his hands in the pool? She said he then went and like got that he was doing like substances in the bathroom, and was making out with like some girl, and like never took his hands off of her ass. So I was like, wow, eating oysters and washing his hands in the pool, that sounds so sexy. And she was, like I said, she wasn't retired, but she had kids at home now, but she used to be in PR like 10, 15 years ago, that right when they were like coming up. Because what people have to realize is that Mauricio and Kyle, according to what I see on Google, they've doubled their net worth every year for 12 years. I don't know how that's possible either, but especially through the pandemic and everything. But that's what their numbers show, because you have to remember they didn't have shit when they started. She's shopped at Target, okay? Kyle didn't know name brands like Hermes. She didn't know nothing about that life. She had a nice home in Beverly Hills. She was definitely living a good life, I'm sure. Um, but I just don't think like she knew what like luxury like probably was, because they grew up in Beverly Hills, so that's like their stomping ground. Kyle, Kim, and Kathy. So I just want to know. I want to remember what happened at the reunion when Crystal said that, and I feel like, when did Kyle Richards and Morgan Wade shoot the music video? This will give us a better timeline. Video in Nashville. And why did they just shoot it in Nashville? Why couldn't they have shot it in LA? Like, so Kyle could have like stayed home instead of like picking up and traveling again. They literally shot it in a house. It was like a car outside. It could have been anywhere. Like, why are you coming to Nashville? Why can't Morgan come to LA? Why don't we ever really see Morgan, Kyle, and Teddy hanging out? We used to see Teddy and Kyle hanging out all the time. We never really see them hanging out. And when we do, we never see the trio. That always told me something. Also, the fact that Teddy Mellencamp isn't getting on her podcast and ridiculing all of us who even speculate about Kyle and Morgan tells me that they're dating. I also had another person reach out to me on TikTok or Instagram. She is also in the biz, and she was present for the latest when Kyle was on Watch What Happens Live. And she told me they are most 1000% a couple behind the scenes. Everyone knows it's not like a secret. And that was the reason I think a lot of people thought they were going to announce it. Sorry, I'm looking at that. That's why Kyle was going to announce it on the show. Troll the trolls who think they're dating. Fall in love with me. This article was from August 10th, but let me see. Okay, so she dropped the video on August 10th. Let's not forget the People article came out July 4th or the 3rd, I think. And then they announced their separation on the 4th. And so the music video is on August 10th. How long does it take to produce a music video? Anyone? Let's see. Maybe we can pinpoint by looking up the Buying Beverly Hills episode. I think it was episode 3, and I wonder, let's see when they filmed Buying Beverly Hills. When did they film Buying Beverly Hills season 2? July 2023. Okay, so that means at the beginning of July, they started filming Buying Beverly Hills, and that it was the same time that the People article came out on the 4th of July. We're all wondering why the 4th of July. Well, I think the People came out on the 3rd, but they announced it on the 4th. That was the day Kyle posted on her Instagram. We thought that a lot because of the fact that Erica Jane Girardi announced her divorce on Election Day in 2020. So definitely felt like she was pulling one of Erica's cards, right? So they must have just started filming and the People article came out, and then 4th of July happens. I wish they would give us a better timeline. It says season 2 wrapped filming in 2023 and will premiere on March 2024. Wait. The filming for Buying Beverly Hills season 2 took place during the summer of 2023, with shooting wrapping up in July of the same year. They filmed in Los Angeles, Florida, Aspen, Colorado. That's weird to me. I wonder how long they filmed. July 15th. So Netflix Buying Beverly Hills season 2 wraps filming, deadline. And this article came July 15th of 2023. So, hey Groovy, how are you? We're talking about Kyle Mauricio, and we're trying to pinpoint this timeline on when Kyle did this video with Morgan Wade, right? Morgan Wade drops the video on August 10th, okay? July 4th is when they announce it on Instagram. July 15th, they wrap filming for Buying Beverly Hills, which is incredibly confusing considering the first episode of Buying Beverly Hills is them at the ranch talking about the article being dropped. So you're telling me the entire rest of the season was filmed after that? That already doesn't make sense. We need to see when they started filming. So the premiere, season 1 aired in November of 2022. I feel like they started, I don't know why I feel like they started February. Let's see. How long is filming for Buying season 2? This says in early May of 2023 and ended in October 2023. So that we can't even go by that. What does that mean? And that's coming from Cosmopolitan. Did these people did they bet? I mean, what? They're just, I mean, that's blatantly like not true. We just looked it up in 2 different places, July 15th. Buying Beverly Hills Season 2, all 10 episodes will launch on March 22nd. I feel like they need about 6 months to edit. That's usually what the Housewives take to edit everything. But I don't know how long they film for. So Kyle is basically trying to say that she had already filmed the video with Morgan probably before like the People article came out. But I don't know how long does it take to produce a music video. If it dropped August 10th, then maybe that's true. Let me ask it a different way. Just seen her at a lot of the concerts. She's at the Nashville concerts. Another article from Rolling Stones about when it dropped, but still not when they filmed it. That seems to be on the low. That's a little strange to me that they didn't talk about when they filmed it, because they certainly did an interview. Co-Pilot says Buying Beverly Hills Season 2 took place the summer of 2023. With shooting wrapping up in July. Everything is saying July. That's when it wrapped. So I don't know, maybe that is true. Maybe they started in March and wrapped up in July. I just think that's crazy that literally the end of the season they put as the first episode. That must be to get everyone's attention. It has to be. To start out with opening the first season being this People and the separation. And Kyle also alleging that she had to get back because cameras were going to pick up again for for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But we didn't see them film anything past the People magazine article except for a confessional. And she said she had to go back and film, and she said it in such a way that the girls were even like, well, who are you going to be filming with if we're all in Aspen? Who are you filming with? And she like changed the subject and started, that's so crazy. So that means everything that we saw filming between Kyle and Mauricio that was like awkward because they hadn't told anyone, but they were still acting separated behind the scenes. They're making it look like to the audience that was after the People magazine came out, but they had really been acting awkward. And like he said, kiss me goodnight. She kissed him and he was like, kiss me again. And she was like, go to bed. And he's like, wow, you're like so mean, And the awkwardness when he touched her leg when she was in her pajamas, like I feel like she was cringe, and I could feel the cringe in that moment. And so all of that's really before they announced that they were separated. So they would have had no choice but to announce it before the season aired, because the whole season they're being, very, maybe the People magazine article wasn't supposed to come out and they were going to wait on the Netflix series to come out before they announced the separation. And that's why the People magazine article was dropped in the first place. Kyle was probably pissed. Like, you want me to keep it quiet and not date Morgan until Buying Beverly Hills airs? F you, buddy. Watch this. Happy 4th of July. I know, that's what I'm saying, Lisa. It's crazy. That's exactly what I'm saying. That is so crazy. Except the only thing that would make sense is that they filmed it in anticipation for those 3 months that before it came out, they would announce their separation, thus giving Buying Beverly Hills a lot of traffic and attention. Imagine if they announced it right before they aired that. But everyone thought Kyle dropped that to People anyways. And in my opinion, People magazine would have never have dropped that article if they did not know 99.9% that it was absolutely certain. And the only way they would know that is if they had confirmation from Kyle or Mauricio. Outlets like that will want confirmation from 3 different people, 4 different people sometimes, if you come at them with a story like that. They're not going to run it because you're Faye, even if you're Faye Resnick. I mean, maybe, but I don't really think, I don't know. Like, they could think, well, she's in a jam, needs a paycheck. I don't know. You need other sources to verify that. People Magazine's not just gonna, because somebody, I'm sorry, but that's just, in my opinion, that sounded completely bogus. But Mauricio flipping out about whoever dropped it to People Magazine seemed very sincere. In fact, I vividly remember him getting caught by cameras outside of or it might have been TMZ, but he was going into his rehearsals for Dancing with the Stars, and they asked him, and he like got pissed. He was going off about it and how, he had reached out to people and, man, did they tell him who told them that information? And then another time during Dancing with the Stars, it was like during judging, and they said something, and he started to go off about it. So I mean, it seemed genuine to me that he did not drop that. It was not his team that dropped that. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to put this all together and in a separate video for you guys, the timeline, because it does seem crazy. Oh, does he, Groovy? I like Buying Beverly Hills too. I like Mauricio I like his confessionals, and I like their girls. I like Sophia and Alexia. I do. I think they're funny. They're cute. They're real cute. I mean, yeah, they're cute. They're living the dream, for sure, living the dream. All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to hop on and chat and get you guys up to speed with a couple of things, like the Carlos King situation, calling Juan Dixon the most disrespectful husband in Housewives history. That's hilarious. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a great, what is today? Today is Wednesday, guys. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday. I'm going to be dropping some more content. I'm just not going to be live. So make sure you guys have your notifications on. I hope you guys have a great day, Groovy, Barbara, all of you. And we will chat soon. Thanks for coming.